Welcome to the episode. Here we have TmarieTPOV and my co-host, Sweet Baby Angel. Sweet Baby Angel, what up?
Hello.
So
Hello, hello.
let's dive right into it, right? So I'm excited because it's something that you said is about our favorite darling who happens to be Trinidadian also. Also, of course, it's actually from Maya. It's Trinidadian, because it's South Florida. But this is actually that darling talking crazy. Let's talk about it. So I rather do sticky links and just have fun than be in a defined relationship. This is coming from Nia Long. This shocked the hell out of me. So I want us to talk about
I think from Nia's perspective, she's been through so much, right? You think about that relationship that she had with the former coach, or I think he's the coach now. I can't even remember his name. He's not as big as Nia Long.
push for the youth, Sarah. It's made for
Mm. Yeah, he was coaching for the Celtics with Sammy because, shout out to Sam Cassell. But yeah, I know Sam. I used to work for Sam.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to work for Sam. But needless to say, he he just did her so wrong, and then going through all of that turmoil, I think maybe a sneaky link will work out best for her. She's in her prime. She's like 50 plus now, so it's like having a committed relationship. What is it good for? It's only causing me heartache and heartbreak. So let me have a sneaky link and move forward. It's a lot more men out here that's willing to, have no string attached, be the side dude, slide in, slide out, and keep it going.
I just got to on my side. See what I write. What are your thoughts?
I agree. I feel like she's being or has unapologetic boundaries and she's committing to her own happiness at this stage of her life. So yeah, I agree with T.
I think her perspective because of her. Because prior to that relationship breakup, yeah, Long was very private to that relationship. Anyways, I think that's a hood. That's what I think. And this is just my perspective. I don't think that's a real.
You don't
You
think that
don't think what?
all?
I don't think that's a real. I think that's something. That's a new perspective.
Nia,
Right.
Nia, she came as everybody's sweetheart, right? She's the roundaway girl. But Nia, she's known to date in her past life, not in her current life, right? Ballers. She got put on to by Friday, right? So she is used to a hood dude. So when she became Nia Long, she ended up embarking onto these other men with different levels, and they just who's like they're no different than Johnny around the block. So I'd rather who has my trophy piece out on the red carpet, but I'm gonna go back to my roots. So I let him be my sneaky link. I let him slide through, put down what he needs to, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. We all know as women, and we hate to say this. This is so true. Sometimes a broke man pussy wet. It's harder for us to break up with the dude that has no money, but when that sex life is good, that broke man is the one that's gonna put it down. He puts a statement down. We call it something else. I can't say it so but it's more and less he's giving you what you need, satisfying your needs in that way. And the emotional attachment doesn't have to be there. He may not be the person I could present at work. He may not be the person I can take to the boardroom or to the office or walk on the red carpet, but you good for that sneaky link. You good for that. You good for side men capabilities. He's our Megan Good. Not Megan Good, Megan the Stallion. My bad. Sorry, Megan. You caught a stray for no reason.
I feel like to T's point, whether he's young, the sneaky link, I don't know how I feel about that, but I think the whole thing about her being appealing to younger men is because it's this whole thing of like the go home factor. Because she tapped into that, like, younger men have high energy, they're fun, you can have a good time with them, but then they're like, okay, I'm gonna go. So I think she may be attracted to that sort of like structure in a relationship at this stage in her life.
So this is my thoughts on that. Like me, I have a sense of ownership. If I'm in a space where we're intimate, I have a sense of ownership. Stipulate things that I have a sense of privacy. But there's no benefit in that. All they're adding is miles to your body. Are we in agreement?
Well, there's no pressure. It's no pressure dating. There's no pressure when you have a sneaky link,
You gotta need someone to establish that.
but there's no pressure in it. There's no pressure in that.
It's no pressure in the sneaky link. There's no commitment. You're committing to showing up when I ask you to show up. You're that phone call that I need when I can't. He's not available. Has the same dynamic of a side chick. Unfortunately, when you do subscribe to those type of relationships, people do attach feelings. They get feelings attached. So your sneaky link, you have to know when to cut them off. You set those boundaries. I am not in favor of having a rotation. I don't like being a part of anyone's entourage, carousel, uh, rotation. I have you on Friday, you see you on Tuesday. That's just too much to keep up with. But maybe she's 50 plus. I'm turning 50. Maybe that is the way to go. Maybe that is the new wave when it comes to relationships, and stop looking for that true love. And I have a sneaky link and have a man on the side. You a meal is never a meal without the side dish. So maybe.
Old Caribbean saying, for example, can't drive a car. That's an old Caribbean thing. That's something. Personally, there's a sense. I can't sleep with somebody without the attraction.
That I agree with.
How I'm wired, I can't subscribe to that type of relationship dynamic.
But I understand people who can. And in this instance, it's low pressure. Like, this is an arrangement. You get what you want and you can be about your day. That's it. She can control the narrative in a sneaky link. You have more control in that dynamic versus a traditional relationship.
I guess, and I understand your perspective.
Mhm.
But when it comes to her, I'm not fine. Just
Yeah.
in a relationship, the breakup was very public. It was a scandal, you know. I think this is her new way of dealing with pain. Because eventually, all this sneaky link shit, it gets old very fast.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, so you're saying that she feels this way based on her past relationship.
Yes.
So would it be fair to say that she may be having relationship fatigue? And so she's like, I don't want to deal with everything that comes with that. I just want bits and pieces of that.
I get you, right? I'm not trying to be the nanny police. I'm not. But those type of things, that type of, it burns you out. Don't even matter of time before you're like, damn, what am I doing? You feel hollow inside. Especially when you're experiencing that type of relationship dynamic. You have a period where you start to feel hollow, start to feel used, and you start to feel worn out. That is a fact.
Going through the relationship or the situation she went through, and I agree 100% what was being said about the fatigue. It's also like she was like a death. You're losing someone. So you have to go through all of those emotions. And maybe right now her emotional state is anger, and acting out of anger, she's like, I don't want attachment. I don't want commitment. And because of this phase that I'm in, I will do the sneaky link because I can control how my feelings are going to be. I can control who's being seen and who's not being seen. You already said it. She's a private person. We rarely see who she's in a relationship with. And now I am on every tabloid. I'm the talk of the town. And her interview with Jeezy, she danced around the whole conversation about about that situation. Yeah.
He was trying to bag her. He was trying to bag her. Yeah.
Jeezy was trying to get in there, and who wants to hurt Nia Long? I mean, it's just like when we put Nia, Holly, all of those up into the lights of these are women that you want to have a long lasting relationship, and you fumbled Nia. First you fumbling Holly, now you fumbling Nia? Like, seriously, like, how many times can you do that? And I think women empowerment in her mindset is, "I'm controlling this." She had also said, "If you don't text me back, I'm never texting you." It's like, okay, well, there's nothing more here.
That's tough. Well, it's just some kind. Well, it's who pursuing it. Because I know it's a woman who will curve this man, but definitely won't curve that one. That one. Just chat. I don't. I'm 46, man. I've seen it all. You know what I'm saying? I don't buy it. I definitely don't buy it. Let me give you guys some perspective because I've experienced it. How other people react, right?
Okay.
I remember the first time when I was younger, and the first time a girl make my heart hurt me, I was a menace because that's how I danced with the phone. Having a rotation of dates and stuff like that, being outside, That's back then before outside was being outside. But I understand that reaction when you're hurt. When you're hurt and stuff, you need to experience different people so you could not, so they could absorb that pain of loss.
So what would you call that though? What would you call that?
But it wasn't sneaky link back then, and that's some fervent things. I didn't know we were
No, I'm saying like essentially she's just choosing her own happiness. That's what this is all about right now is what I want to do. I'm not going to feel sorry about it. This is what I want and I'm getting what I want.
But you never know, there's something in movies, right? Especially with like after the that's what I feel. Never noticed that I always go to a therapist. So in fact, that means that's always from feeling that I'm having my best life phase. The only therapist to fix that little wrong. Is it a good thing to be living your life having secret?
Well, think about it. Creeping ain't nothing new for women. We just now are owning it. TLC came out with it because I creep. Remember that song? And a lot of men weren't picking up on the lyrics, but they were literally talking about cheating. Red Light Special, another song. They were talking about cheating. They weren't talking about loving on the man that they had. They were talking about cheating with their sneaky link. So sneaky links is just a new age term that maybe Generation Z created for us. But it's not new.
I don't know. I didn't really get it.
It's most certainly not a millennial term. I feel like it's what Gen Z. I think they're Gen Zers, Gen X, whatever. They're millennials.
Yeah, I don't think it's millennials. I mean, I'm Gen X. You guys probably are millennials, right?
I'm a millennial. No, you're probably you would be considered maybe an old millennial.
Yeah.
That's so true.
But it's definitely sneaky link is definitely a Gen Zers term because, I think they even created the whole rotation thing. Like dating for them and being able to be fluid, right? That's a term I never heard of. I was like, fluid. What do you mean by fluid? Like, wait a minute.
Hey, this is fluid right now. I can't wait.
It's like it's too much.
Inclusive. Gotta be inclusive.
So it's what it is.
I ain't gonna lie to you. The man want a little crush on Nia. The fact that she's Trinidadian, so I have a little pride, I have an extra pride for her. This threw me all the way out.
Well, Nia is taking back her womanness and her beauty and saying, if you want to be a part of this, it's a chance that you're going to be a sneaky link. You're going to be part of the rotation. I'm not settling for the lies and anything extra. I want to put it up front that I'm out here dating and I have options. The other key word is options. and you're not gonna hold me back from those options. I think that's what she's letting people know.
Like, I don't know how America it's different, right?
Mhm.
Or if I'm pursuing you, the only person I have no option. I don't know. I don't think option thing and
Yes, however, we all know that the more assets you have, be it money or whatever, you do have more options. Whether you decide to exercise and utilize those options is a different story. She has options and she's exercising them.
but it's not option that you a choice.
And she's not looking to choose. She's choosing everybody. She's being choosy.
You know, marriage for 10 years, you know, that's turn the love of girl, you know. I don't know.
Being choosy.
Is it possible to turn that off?
And some men
Yeah,
are trying to be
relationship.
chose.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm moving out. Oh, entire life.
No. So now this is a great question. Being that she says this and she's exposing it, Nia is not being judged for it. Right? Now
I'll take you that. But then it goes to the comments, it judges.
you think so?
It judges. Let me speak.
Yeah, I feel like that's part of the reason why she's going viral is people are not necessarily accepting to that being her angle. But yes, it's not practical. But at 55, she's probably like, listen, I'm doing what I want.
One of them. Damn near 60 years old with this mindset. Diabolical.
Listen, reinventing yourself and getting back on the dating scene at 50 plus, your options are very limited, right? So you think about the men that are out here. And this is just for heterosexual women, right? Being that we're not fluid, we're not experimenting, we're not dipping and dabbling and experimenting with other things. The men that we know that are out there, most of them are married or not happily married, right? So you are going to be part of their side chick harem. Then you have the ones that are either coming out of jail, they done did some time. So are you willing to date and help them rehabilitate themselves and get them back into a normal life? Then you have the ones that are right? You're picking your options at 50. And I'm going through this because this is my life. Like I am dating at 50 and you're like, oh my God, what is happening? What is going on? And it's not up. So maybe these is the options that she has, and her sneaky link is probably maybe someone that's married and she doesn't want to bring it out, right?
That may be a good point. But I also feel like we're in an era of time where like 40 and 50-year-old women are what's popping out here right now. Like
Mhm.
with younger men, they're like, no, I want someone in her 40s or her 50s because she's got it together, she's got the resources, and she has it going on. So that's what's trendy right now.
And remember, as men, we're not taste involved. Oh,
That's true. That's true. So hey, her options are unlimited, and she has the cream of the crop. She might end up dating one of his former teammates that he was coaching.
I did some crazy stuff here. If that happened. So it's a good thing we're talking about that, right? We're talking about dating down there. How did you feel about the rest of it? Yeah. You know what to say, right? I wanted to go left you speechless.
I'm gonna play it safe in my response and say I understand Larissa. I mean, we're talking about Michael Jordan's son. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Larissa Pippen. She's just a mess. Michael Jordan's son, it's just too much. It's too much. I think these women either are trying to recycle these young, like you're dating your children friends that once was at your house as a child and you were playing with them. You had house dates and y'all had birthday parties and now this is your boo. Nah.
That's crazy. That's Alan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he married his stepdaughter, which is but Woody Allen showed signs of like teetering on like underage, borderline underage girls.
Yeah, I'm right there. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Pharaoh and recover from that. She still messed up over that. But I don't agree.
It's disgusting.
I would be sickened if I dated one of my son's friends. Like I would utterly be.
Listen, my son is already not having it. I think one of his friends did try to talk to me one time, and I said, "I don't know if this is his real pain or if he."
Wow, that's crazy. Speaking of my older gentleman of high school, if my daughters date a guy my age, I would be highly upset.
Okay, so let's flip this. How would you feel if they knew you were dating one of their friends? She's about to be 25. Yeah,
Now I can date nobody.
I
There's
agree.
nothing for us talking about. I crave intellectual
Stimulation, yeah.
I crave it.
You could get stimulation another way. Would just be
Maybe when I was young with that matter.
I didn't
Be that older gentleman. That's really-
But here's the crazy thing about what you're saying. Who's the young lady? She just had a baby. Well, the baby's now 2. A model. I can't think of her name right now, but she dated. He's like 22, 23, right?
Dread.
Treya, yes. Like, girl, come on now. You want the bag that you are dating children?
bad, bad,
Bad, that bad.
desperately.
That is beyond me. Now, I've had a young man try to talk to me, and I said to him to this. I said, "What would your mother say that you're bringing me to Christmas, and I am the same age as her?" I said, "Ask your mother how that conversation will go. 'Cause you're younger than my son. What exactly do we have in common? Nothing."
So I'll be super scared. But when I got there,
Yeah.
I look to you as a mother figure, so just for you to tell him what to do, how to direct his finance. Because now it's then you get somebody young, where the person will give you the happy.
Well, that taps back into what we saw with Mace, right? That whole conversation about a man that's raised by his woman, he's only going to probably listen to a woman's opinion.
I want to find that. He did send that to me.
Yes, that taps into that whole conversation. I honestly feel like you have some men that definitely want to date older women for those reasons. Um, but it questions me about these older women that are dating these younger men. I am completely turned off the same way that you both are. Like if you cannot mentally stimulate me, you cannot talk to me in a different realms of different conversations and your only conversation is either very narrow, very limited. You don't even have to have a large vocabulary. It doesn't have to be that vast, but I want you to be able to jump from topic to topic and be able to come with some valid points. If that's not there, then what is the conversation based off on? It's only so much that you can be stimulated by. And no, I'd rather talk to AI. I'd rather talk to artificial intelligence than than sit here have a conversation with you. Maybe they'll enlighten me way more. You need to be able to teach me. I have always been a woman where the man needs to teach me different things, not to be a controller, but to educate me just as much as I can educate him. I want you to also be able to lead. If you can't lead and I'm giving you direction all the time, in my role, in my day to day, I am the one that's being the director. So if I gotta play the whole scene throughout the day, what do I need you for?
So that people people it is stiff with sexual prowess.
Mm-hmm.
If I have you pick the size and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah. Yeah, because when you're older, you realize like depth is important, substance is important. You can like you're gonna run out of having surface conversation really quick.
very much. That's been my experience, right? Like now, I'm in a space of stimulated, intelligent conversation, elite, breathless. And leaves me yearning. And the good thing about the conversation now is real parts of my brain trust. He's somebody I could go to and talk about, hey, what else? And would help me advocate. I respect your opinion.
And I'm younger than
Okay, some point, right? Look at how good. Look what going on with this Michelin situation, right? Let you back to that, right? Michelin situation, right? Now, what can that person offer you besides? Because we need other things. We do need other things.
Some people only want that sexual tie, right? When we talk about soul ties or soulmate, I asked this question before. Would you rather have a soulmate or a soul tie? And some people just want that tie to a person that is sexual. And as we know, every time you connect with someone sexually, you open up different chakras, you open up different levels, and your acceptance to that, like you said, you can't lay down with everyone, but people are doing it. So now you're adding more bodies, more emotions, more energy onto you, and you don't even realize why these things are happening to you, why this energy has transponded onto you, because you could be laying right next to somebody that you shouldn't be laying with because he your sneaky link.
Right? Yeah, right. Ah, other than me. Right?
Yes.
Was Megan.
Mm-hmm.
That the body
you.
was enhanced. You can't control it at the hands now. We don't care about none of that. At the end of the day, we had to choose a woman to eventually be our wife. We have to do that. Pros and cons. And bodies is a very heavy con. It's very heavy.
But it goes for the same for men. Yes, because you are entering. Okay, we ain't gonna go too far deep, but when you're entering into that canal, right? And the more of those that you open yourselves up to, the more things that you are allowing your body to be a part of. Every woman, even if this man doesn't want Meg to be their wife, or however the case may be, you just added another body count to yourself. You just added her energy onto you. So she may not be the one, but why would you lay down with her? My my boy Chris Brown had even said, so I'm the only lame out here that don't think that everybody should sleep with everybody. He was like, so y'all are just not gonna turn down any woman. Y'all just gonna keep having sex with any random women. He's like, I'm not doing that. I gotta find that clip, and I'm gonna send it to you. Cause he was like, well, I'm the only weirdo around here.
We gotta react to them. We need to fight. I mean, I like Chris.
Mhm.
That's another thing too. I was talking about. I was like, man, you think Chris could die? I think Chris better down than Michael Jackson. I was wrong.
Yeah, you wrong.
Completely wrong. So speaking of that, let's talk about Michael Jackson. Have you heard about Michael Jackson? Now, you speak about it.
The movie Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Okay. I am a Michael Jackson fan. Love Michael to death. You know, he passed, let's see, 2 days? No, or the day after my birthday. So June 24th, I was in Denver. I got the phone call. My friend calls me and she was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "What's going on?" She was like, she's bawling on the phone, bawling. I'm thinking something happened to her. I was like, "Tiffany, calm down, girl." She is crying there. She's like, "Michael Jackson died." And I was like, "Girl." So I love Michael Jackson. He's definitely a influencer, the best talent. There will never be another Michael. The movie itself, I felt it was the Michael Jackson movie or the Jackson 5 movie featuring Michael Jackson. The reason why I say that is because some of the things you have seen in other documentaries, I feel that it was well put together. Jafari Jackson, oh my God, he did a phenomenal job. No one, I cannot imagine anyone playing Michael Jackson. He embodied him mentally, spiritually, and everything. And how ironic is Jermaine's son. Now that right there, being that is Jermaine's son, the one that every interview you would see Michael be like, and I love Jermaine too. It's like they were arch enemies forever. I love the movie. I felt that more to be told of his story. I wanted to see something different. Um, go ahead.
And they got a part two, man. They have way more stories. Part
Yes. It's a part two, but I want to see more things different. I did love the fact that they brought Bubbles into it. That was the best part.
Bubbles is 43 years old. I was still on this. I'm like, Bubbles still alive? I Googled it. 43 years old. Bubbles.
Bubbles is alive and kicking it.
Live and kicking, live your best life and thing. You know,
What was your take on it?
I went to them when I wanted for myself. I mean, my dancing stuff. I grew up with Bob Marley. Bob Marley singing to women. I love what Bob stand for, because Bob was, even though he was a historical womanizer, he was a man that appealed to women. He spoke to your soul. When I went in there, I was like, Bob Marley, Michael Jackson kind of survived for my time. When I left there, yeah, I had to give it to Michael. Mike was a whole different What bothered me is when I like I could sleep on it. So Jackson bothered me. You know why? You have a child that is exceptional. You point to that child, you didn't relate to that child, give him complex about those, you know, it didn't know how to put away and let a child shine. That bothered me. And his mother passiveness bothered me also. But like, you maybe you'll tell me that was the time.
Those were the times. It was the 1960s, right? Like women didn't have all of those rights to be as vocal, right? But she did have an impact on their life. I love the movie because I do think like Jafar captured like the vocals, the choreography was stellar.
Oh.
But I do feel like the movie didn't delve deeper into like those darker complexities of Michael, like his personal life, the mental health, the surgeries, his intimate relationships. Like it didn't touch on any of that, which is a part of who he is. I mean, because we know he has kids. So all of those things were not touched on.
We don't know that.
Well,
yeah. I would have loved to see the relationships that he had with other women, right? Because Michael, from what we've heard, he dated Stephanie Mills, he's dated other iconic people, and it wasn't on.
Cindy Crawford.
Elvis's wife, he was engaged to Elvis. I mean, not, excuse me, his daughter. But I also feel like, yeah, like they should have delved into that. They should have delved into his relationship with Elizabeth Taylor. Like
that one, absolutely. Elizabeth Taylor, like how, and shame on us. I was telling Armani and his wife Dee that what's so crazy about Michael's story is they're recycling the same story. And shame on us as Americans to be like, oh, your religion was so bad that he never had a childhood. He did have a childhood. He had a childhood that was a Jehovah Witness childhood. Yeah. He was raised as a witness, and shame on us Christians to say, oh, he didn't have Christmas. He didn't have this. He didn't get toys. He didn't celebrate his birthday. He had the life which his religious views were set place. Now, was his father something else? Joe was something else. Joe was definitely something else. But shame on us.
Yeah, that's my conflict right there. I wasn't Cindy Crawford. I think they went on 8 dates. They used a school, so they went dates. But so this is where I was conflicted, right? Because my father woke me into being a billionaire. I'm cool. I get whoop for less. You know what I'm saying? So I was cool with that, but you know that but Joe was the typical Joe was a monster, man. And he was a good father in his way, but he didn't pull back. He needed to be the center of the story. He needed to be I'm the reason why everybody is winning now. I'm the reason. And everything else is up in America. Everybody wants you to win, right? But it's just the ones to win more than them. You know?
Mhm.
That's the mentality. Kind of the Barry mentality.
Yeah.
The guy, greatest head in the ever. But Gary, Indiana, 15 minutes. I live close to Gary. I live in Homewood, but Gary's really close to here. Maybe 15, 20 minutes away from here.
From Chicago. Yeah, it's not that far. Have you ever been there? Have you been to see the memorial and whatnot around the Jackson area? You gotta go check it out. You gotta go check. Mhm.
Oh, did it feel? Did you feel a wave of euphoria, excitement? Wave felt when they pull up.
No, but I have a past experience with like the whole Jehovah's Witness faith, being that I was with someone who was raised also Jehovah's Witness and is from Gary. And so that's the thing I feel like is interesting to me, right? That they were Jehovah's Witness, but as a part of that faith, like they have a lot of prohibitions related to like higher education and having a career, right? So it's interesting to me that Joe was the way that he was, but yet he was pushing for his kids to have this stellar career, which is frowned upon in their faith. So it's contradictory in that way. But I think it was just more surreal. Like they lived in this house with what, 9 kids and a 2-bedroom house, no basement, no nothing. Like the house is tiny.
Very.
That's a lot going on, a lot of personalities to navigate as a mother. He's at the mill all day, 12 working 12s. That's a lot to be happening in a 2-bedroom household.
But
And then
it's obviously Kirby. That's not Kirby.
true. And about it is, it depends on how we were raised, right? So me and my sister had our own rooms. We had, it's different dynamics. So when we look at it from that angle, it's like, how did y'all manage to have a 2-bedroom and y'all were sleeping with each other and, from rags to riches? But the other question is the other side of Joe. Do you believe what Latoya had to say about him molesting Reby and her? You know, was that illegitimate child of Reby? Was it Joe? It's so many other things to unfold. Of course, they're not going to expose those scandals in the documentary, but I think what would be awesome is to share some light into other aspects, because we knew some of these stories that we saw how Joe's behavior was, him being controlling, him being manipulative, him wanting to control Michael's relationship. I wish they would have dug deeper into the relationship that he had with Barry Gordy, how Barry Gordy took him under his wing and literally was like, this is my son. Michael would always hug him. He taught Michael how to do the engineering for music and how he started to grow into being Michael. That relationship with him and his driver, how did that come apart, right? Yes.
I love that relationship. That relationship stood out. I love that relationship.
Bill was a pillar in his life.
Honestly.
Mhm.
Bill is loyal. It is loyal. You know I love too?
Yes.
It was.
If they make a story about that would be, oh my God, like such a big spinoff, or make it more relatable to what we would like to see, not only as fans, but to tap into who Michael really was or who he becomes. So if there's a part 2, and I think I did see that there's going to be a part 2, um, let's share light on that. I love the fact that, and I want them to expose, like, even though he has been under this public scrutiny, under the FBI investigation, they never found any truth of it. And now of course, you have these other individuals coming out saying that he did all these other things to him. I'm a person where there's smoke, there may be fire. Okay. So I'm not going to discredit you because I wasn't there. I have no idea. But I do know that liars do exist and people do things for fame and for publicity and whatever puts up into your head. So I don't know. I'm not going to say that you weren't a victim, but I am curious on why you would say such outlandish things about a person who brought you into their house, welcomed you, funded you, took care of you. And then when the money stopped, oh no, now he's a bad person. Your parents drove you, took you there, dropped you off, and said, "All right, you can have Michael." What the hell?
Yeah,
An adult male.
I don't think. I know. I'll never let my kids.
Absolutely not.
It ain't so. And
No.
like I said, we wasn't there, so we don't know. It could be multiple-
Speculation.
it's speculation.
Yeah.
But with that being said, let me ask you guys a question.
Yes.
So the Michael Jackson biopic overrun here over the five. What would you say about the Prince?
I would love that.
Oh, come with it.
The very first concerts I went to was a Prince. That's the only time Prince ever performed in Chicago. I went to that concert with my sister. I would love that.
What time was it?
Nah.
It was I was like 6 or 7. So
You're not young and a Prince.
Well, like 92. Like 90.
I didn't tell her your phone.
She said time out. I was 6 or 7, but I do remember, and that's okay. Because here's the thing. The fact that you can say that you went to a Prince concert is amazing. A lot of people can't say that. I've went to 2 Prince concerts. I'll never forget. I can't say how I got to the second one, but just say I was calling number 10. I was calling number 10, and I was going to that concert. It's nothing like a Prince concert and to hear him play. And I'm a strong believer of his words when he says, "You're not an artist until you know how to play an instrument." And I don't think he meant an instrument of, a physical instrument of your body. Yes, your vocals is one. But Michael Jackson's instrument was him dancing. Who can really do the moonwalk like Michael Jackson? Nobody.
Movie. Took a shot at Prince in the movie. Then took a shot. And then I was a documentary. They was really competing. They were
I had
competing.
no idea.
You didn't.
You remember I said that? I was like, I didn't know they were ops. I didn't know that was even a thing.
There was ops. It's crazy. Yeah.
They were have you seen the whole reason why it all started? James Brown is the reason why this. I always tell my friends, our parents were messy. They defined the word messy, okay? When it came to starting up some stuff and stirring apart, our parents were messy. So the the generation before me definitely created a lot of uproar. James Brown is the reason why they enemies. Y'all know this, right? Have you seen it? You have to YouTube it.
Is that something? That I know it had something to do with James Brown. I know that for a fact. I just can't remember the context because I did see it. But
So this is what happened. Prince was just becoming an artist. He was Michael Jackson was already Michael Jackson. He had, finished Jackson 5. Now he is Michael. Michael Jackson and Prince are in the audience at a James Brown show. So Michael Jackson gets on, he does his Michael Jackson stuff, and then he whispers in James Brown's ear, "Hey, Prince is in the audience. Tell him to come up." So Prince gets up there, and Prince is different. At this time, he was more of no shirt, the screaming, and all of that. He gets up and does that, and no one is feeling it. They're like, "What is going on?" So he gets on this speaker or something like that, and I think he falls. So it was a complete disaster. So he blames Michael Jackson for James Brown bringing him up because James Brown literally says, "And Michael wants me to bring him up here, so he keeps insisting, so I'm gonna bring Prince up." So in Prince's head, being a Gemini, that's me and Zodiac, being a Gemini, he was like, "Yeah, I'm out for you." He tries to run over Michael Jackson and his mama.
Did
Man, over.
Michael Jackson and his mother,
Kate doesn't deserve that.
Prince was spinning. He was sliding. Prince was sliding on the ups.
He was not having it. Even when they tried to make amends with him, I think there's a story about him and Beat It and how Prince was like, I'm never doing that song. There's an interview with Prince saying that the first lyrics is talking about a man in my butt. I'm not talking, I'm not finna sing these lyrics. What is wrong with Michael, right? The other collaboration, like I feel that Michael Jackson was always that I want to be the better person. I'm gonna kumbaya. We're gonna be friends. But every attempt was a mess up. He would not. Prince was just not going. And one thing I know about, and I'm all about zodiac behaviors. I'm not an astrologist. I don't believe in all that. But one thing about Gemini, my sister's a Gemini. Once you cross them, it's like you might as well hang it up. It is a wrap. It is you have done, and there's nothing else. So yes, you have. When you get some time, look that up.
So let me tell you something, right? And once I realized with Michael, watching the movie was not an evil thing. But it's quite possible that Prince was an evil man. Those musical genius, when you have genius, you have something about you that's called. I'm like a super perfectionist. He playing all the instruments and stuff. He did things a certain way. I could see him being that. But Michael didn't come up with an evil.
No, the funny part about it is Michael Petty though. When he said in the pool, y'all remember this? He was like, I need it before God gives it to Prince.
He took his son first. That's bullshit. I can't go.
On the shade. They even like for the family to continue that in this day and age, the rivalry between the two is hilarious because I honestly think they both were on the same wavelength, and as they became to own their masters and become a strong force, now this is some conspiracy stuff. They had to be eliminated. They had to be taken out. You got Michael Jackson. You got Michael Jackson that is he had people falling out, like literally just falling out on TV, on anywhere he walked, right? He had that much control over the world.
Yeah.
And when he started owning his publishings, right? Other people's publishings, and he started saying, especially when he went to Brazil and did the song, They Don't Really Care About Us, he started speaking his truth. He started recognizing that I am a black man, even though he was a little confused. I am a black man. It was completely different. Oh, Michael, the man that is changing his nose and he wants himself because they had us believing he was bleaching his skin. Remember that was a narrative that was being brought out there,
It's I understand. That's so it first time.
right?
You know what I realized about this also watching it? Michael didn't make bad business. It felt like every business decision he had was home run. Those investments, all that stuff. He didn't seem like he had no bad business decisions. Now, a lot of music artists back in those days get jerked. Seems like he was then from being jerked. He owned the Beatles catalog. The
Right.
Beatles.
The Beatles. And then think about this as well. Remember he did that documentary. I don't know if you remember this, and maybe you've seen it. I hate to keep calling you young lady, but maybe you've seen it.
Yes.
SBA.
SBA.
SBA. Am I saying it right? So there's this guy that came to him and was like, hey, I want to do this documentary on you, and it's going to be great. And Michael loved it. Do you remember this? And he went on, like, he was with him for like a year or something. It was crazy.
I put in the tree and everything.
Yeah. Portrayed him as being broke. He didn't have any money. Michael was spending extravagant money on frivolous things because he would go in and be like, I want this and I want this. And it was $250,000 later. Right. And then had a of saying that he was broke. And how is he spending all this money if he's broke? But but this particular, he was like some British journalist that was painting that narrative that Michael low key was this monster and he was insane and he's not the person that who he says he's to be. And then when Michael got wind of the documentary, he was upset because he brought this man into his house. He stayed with him for a year, and what was end up being let out, I think it was by the NPR or whatever, that organization, it was not anything that he agreed to. So it's crazy how many people try to get close to someone to ultimately turn against them. Like, I love me some Michael Jackson, and I have now gotten upset with Oprah. Oprah, you used to be my girl. I am highly disappointed in you. You need to go out and touch some grass, girl, because something is wrong. That whole series of leaving Netherlands and looking at the episodes that she did, she was an op. They planted her in to be a plant and to expose us. I'm not happy with you, Oprah.
Quite close. Because Mike's surprising. I mean, they showed the good stuff because his family had to sign off to put him in the movie. So of course, they could show the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Mike is from the area and he grew up with a bunch of brothers. He might be a super fighter.
Oh, for sure.
He might be. He might have the hands of God. Yeah. Great.
Hmm.
I enjoyed the movie. I think they should do a Prince. Antoine spoke one day, right? He was the director. Need to do a Prince book. Prince loved women. But no, he had the bell buttons on his pretty shirts. He was a lover boy.
He was.
Because Prince had battered these next one. I know he had a hell of a run.
Apollonia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He had Missy Copeland.
Yes.
Mhm.
Missy Copeland.
She's the ballerina, Paula Abdul. You know, my son always would be like, "Mom, why you like him? He wear lace pants and heels. He, his hair was all." He was like, "Y'all like men that was weird." I was like, "No, I said, sweetie, he was far from gay. That man was very well into his masculinity, and he was a ladies' man. Women would lose their mind to be Mr. Prince.
He was androgynous.
Androgynous, yeah.
Mhm.
He was a what?
Androgynous. Right?
Yeah.
Dress and stuff like that. Anytime I hear people talk about him like celebrities, every time they met Prince, there was glamour. There was starstruck. He had that glow. People that say had the glow. Michael Jordan, Prince, MJ. They have the glow.
I would say that. Yeah. I
remember
agree
the
with that.
first time I see the Ryan Lights. That's time I've seen breast in a movie. Wow.
Did you see it? Did you find it?
Okay, that was the first time I was shocked. I wasn't prepared for it. I remember mother and them didn't want me watching it. They didn't want me watching it. I don't want to watch it for rain because that's too much of grown-up interaction. But when I finally saw that, I was shocked that him and Morrissey. And Morrissey was a hater. I loved him.
But that was his guy.
That was his guy, but he was a hater.
Yeah. Prince, they grew up in Minneapolis together. Yeah.
Absolutely. So my mom took us to see Purple Rain. This will tell you how I raised our money because I mirrored things my mother did. We waited in line. There was a line wrapped around the movie theater, and I couldn't believe she was allowing us to see this rated R movie. So back then in the day, when you went to see rated R movies, of course you need a parent, and they was really serious about it. Like not now. Like you can go see whatever, and they don't care. They're not checking IDs. But when I tell you we were waiting in line, anticipation to see this movie, it was everything and all that it could be. We were at Capitol Court movie theaters here in Milwaukee, waiting in line as little kids, and my mom had her big bag with all the snacks and all the goodies, and it was amazing. I remember seeing that my first time going to Paisley Park. I went to Paisley Park to see Prince's studio as an adult. That was an amazing trip. I would recommend anyone to go see it because his ashes are in the building. Yeah, it's dope. You get to see the whole tour. You can see where they jammed out. This is a T-Mobile thing. Our Jimmy, that was a senior, he was a senior manager of training or senior manager of something, but he played in Prince's band, not his old band, but he actually played in the current band with Bootsy. So I went to Minnesota to do a training for T-Mobile after the craziness that was happening. And we got to listen to them play, watch him jam out at one of the places that Prince performed at. Going into Minnesota and being a part of that is nothing like it. You have to go to Paisley Park. So if you haven't been to Minnesota, go visit Paisley Park.
Have you been?
Yes, I have family in cities.
Yes.
Mhm.
Have you been to Paisley Park?
I have not.
You have to go. Now it's different. So before, I was told now they changed it a little bit. You can actually take pictures, but before they would take your phones and you would have to lock your phones up. So you couldn't take any pictures. It was like terrible. I was like, I can't take any pictures. I can only take a picture of the building. And he's in an industrial area where Paisley Park is. So you're like, when you pull up, you're like, this is where Paisley Park is. It's hidden in plain sight. So it's right there. And they would have these jam sessions and they would send out like random text message. You had to be in the know to get an invite. And once you got there, they would be partying for 3 days straight, just enjoying either Prince, he's testing out a new song, or they're just playing old music. But to be alive in that time, I would have loved to be there. But to be there in the room, they give you this great speech and everyone's in the entryway, and then you look up, it's a small replica of Paisley Park, and they're like, and Prince's ashes is inside. When I tell you, some people literally are either falling out, they're crying, it's loud, like it gets a little intense, and I was just like, whoa, you're not expecting for someone to say, oh, and his ashes are right above your head. Like, okay, you're not expecting that.
So, that I can't wait to pick this up. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, Mike might be bigger than Bob Marley. Princess.
Prince? I have a friend that will say, yes, Prince is way better, way bigger, and way better than Michael. She has a whole truck in purple everything. I have never been an extremist, but yeah.
Did you see the Bob Marley movie?
I have. I've seen Bob Marley's movie. I think it could be better. I think it could be better. I think this is why. I think it was syndicated, one, for us. I feel that they changed some of the stories, they changed some of his message, as we know what Bob Marley's message is about, and I think they made it more US central and syndicated for us. I think if more Caribbeans have done this story, it would have been more authentic and more original. I think it was great, but I think it could have been better.
Lead actor. Let's see Bob Marley.
So you liked the movie?
I love it.
You loved it? I probably gotta rewatch it again. I was not impressed.
Yeah, she Caribbean. I'm Caribbean. We speak what Caribbean bias.
So you agree that it was good?
I do think it was good. I feel like my only caveat is that it should have been longer.
Mm.
A lot of layers.
Mhm.
Bob loved women. Women? You see somebody who are like us. When you have genius, there's something that's be awful about. He loves women. He have a lot of kids with a lot of different, but he loves them.
That's something to dissect, right? You think about him and all of his women. How did they all align?
It's like, no, I know I'll probably get some flack for this, right? I program minds at a certain level to be allowed to.
Look, please don't turn around. Listen.
Marley, man, it's Bob Marley. He's a once in a lifetime generational talent. Same thing with Mike, same thing with Prince, same thing with Michael Jordan, same thing with Tom Brady. once in a generational talent.
Okay, wait. You're contradicting yourself because you just told us in the beginning of this show that Caribbean men. That what you told us, right?
I don't have the skill set Bob had. I was a legend back home. I'm a legend, right? But I ain't write One Lover, and I ain't write Waiting Being for Your Lover, I ain't write Buffalo Stoner, Jerk of Grass. I ain't write that, I ain't pen that.
I think it's important to clarify though. He did have a lot of women, but it's not like they were all in Jamaica. Like
Not
he
really.
had some in Europe, he had some in the US.
Yeah.
So he had them sparsed out.
I love them, yo. Love them.
I
Well,
think
that's
I
it.
think Bob had a lot of sneaky links too that's not mentioned.
It had impact because all his kids carry his name. This thing about sneaky links, right? When you have sneaky links, they usually carry the name of their mother. All Bob Marley children carry this past. Women big on that. Big on that. Legacy. Big on that.
That is true. That is that is true. I think when people I think a lot of people don't understand Bob Marley though.
They don't.
I think they're hypnotized with they don't even understand reggaeton, right? They're hypnotized with the dreads, the smoking of the weed and the songs, but they don't understand the culture, the people, and living in it. And in order to understand that, you have to embody it. And that's I think that's what was missing in the movie. I think it was good. I just wanted it to be great. I wanted it to be great.
I honestly think it was an exceptional movie. They need to capture the women because he did live a lifestyle. Hey, this is me, take me as you are. His wife have accepted this is Bob, this is part of the greatness. This is his journey. I can't be in the way of this. The woman is part of the story. They help influence the music.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. This is the Bob Marley love song. It's up there with the greatest. Up there.
Yeah, he was an emotional and a spiritual influencer
Yes,
for
he was.
sure. He was that.
And he was a champion for poor people.
Yes, social justice he was really big on that activism.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the Michael Jackson movie, right? Both of them are the empathy for humanity. Because Mike loved the kids. So when he was there, like I like to the dramatization of him getting his hair burned. I didn't think it was a big deal until I see the movie. I thought he just get his hair jerked.
No, I remember when that happened. That was a big deal because those sparks, yeah, that was traumatic.
It was very traumatic. Like a lot of people stopped drinking Pepsi just because.
I remember that because it was oh my,
like that.
Yes, because I felt like this happened during a live. They were filming live when
they were filming it live, and then like one of the things that took place. I'm sorry. One of the things that took place was a lot of things that Michael did, he wanted the dramatic approach about it. And I believe it was live. And when we saw it, we were all like, he is on fire. his whole hair was in smoke. So yeah, but I don't know. I'm just thinking about Bob Marley and his whole movement on how things could have changed the world. And the movie should have captured more of that, of his song story, right? Because it was really it touched on parts of it, but his song for freedom and his song for change, I think a lot of people miss and don't hear it in the lyrics. And I think you may have to be you have to be of the culture and to understand it.
That's what I would say. America don't get it. Caribbean, Africa, England, they get it. And it's so far removed. There's like all that associate Bob Marley is weed.
Right.
Weed.
They said if I get dreads and I smoke, I love Bob Marley. No, that's not. Don't put on his shirt because that's not what it means.
I would say white people.
Here we go.
I don't want to lose my white feather. Come on.
I heard all of it. All right, with that being said, this brings us to the end of this episode. Incredible energy in this episode. Thank you.
No, thank you always.
Thank you, baby angel.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, more with you, baby angel. Yay!
We're going to do something soon, more episodes to come. With that being said, like, subscribe, and share. To the next episode, peace.